Long before Saul was born, sailors spoke in hushed voices of Blackfin, the pirate whose black sails struck terror from the Caribbean to the farthest shadowed seas. They said he could summon storms with a whisper, that thunder followed his ship like a loyal hound, and that his treasure was richer than any king's ransom. But no man ever found it. Some claimed it was hidden on an island swallowed by fog, guarded by dark curses and monsters of the deep. Even now, taverns echo with his name, half in awe, half in fear. Blackfin, the pirate who became a legend. But legends never vanish completely. They leave traces behind, whispers, warnings, and sometimes a child. Far from the roar of cannons and the bloodied decks of warships, on a quiet island washed in sun and salt, a boy grew up listening to the sea. While the world feared the ghost of Blackfin and his cursed gold, the boy named Saul heard only the waves calling his name. And one day, that call would lead him into his father's legend. Chapter 1. The Boy and the Sea. The island of Crescent Key was small enough to cross before sundown, but to Saul it felt as wide as the world. Every day brought a new horizon to chase, a new secret cove to discover, and a new story to dream. He lived with his grandmother in a weathered cottage on the cliffs, where gulls wheeled overhead and the wind sang through the shutters. She said the sea was not to be trusted. It gave and it took in equal measure. But Saul loved it all the same. From the moment he could walk, the ocean had been his companion. He'd sit for hours where the waves met the sand, watching fishing boats drift beyond the reef and imagining himself among them, steering a ship through wild waters, charting his own adventures. He dreamed of pirates, not the cruel kind from the fearful tales, but brave explorers who sailed where no one else dared. Pirates like his father, whose name was spoken only in whispers when grandmother thought he couldn't hear. One morning, after a storm had swept through the island, Saul found something half buried in the tide. An old rowboat, its hull cracked and its paint long faded. To anyone else, it was nothing but wreckage. To Saul, it was a beginning. He patched it with driftwood, sealed the seams with tar, and tied it together with rope scavenged from the docks. When it finally floated, barely, he christened it the Minnow. That summer, Saul sailed around Crescent Key's hidden coves and rocky shores. He learned to read the wind, to follow the gulls when fog rolled in, and to steer by the sun's slow arc. Each day he ventured a little farther, imagining the reef as a distant land, the rocks as rival ships, and the waves as the pulse of a boundless world waiting just beyond reach. And sometimes, when dusk fell and the sea turned to glass, Saul could swear he heard something beneath the surface, a low, distant voice that echoed like thunder deep below. He didn't know it yet, but the ocean was listening, and it remembered his blood. Chapter 2. One afternoon, as the sun glinted off the waves, Saul paddled the Minnow into a hidden lagoon he had discovered the week before. The water here was calm, sheltered by jagged rocks and mangrove roots, and he liked to imagine it was a secret harbor for pirates, or perhaps a hiding place for treasure. As he drifted, he noticed something unusual, a tiny ripple that didn't match the wind or his oars. He leaned over the side and squinted. A glimmering creature darted beneath the water, no bigger than his hand, with fins that shimmered like sunlight on a bubble. "Hello there," Saul whispered. "Who are you?" The creature blinked, then zipped away, only to pop up again, a few feet ahead, as if leading him somewhere. Saul's heart raced with excitement. He followed it carefully through winding channels of the lagoon. The little creature twirled and splashed, sometimes hiding behind rocks, sometimes peeking from under a leaf. It was playful, clever, and somehow smart. Saul decided it deserved a name. Bubbles, he said, grinning. Bubbles led Saul to a tiny cave at the edge of the lagoon, its entrance partly hidden by vines. Inside, he found a small patch of glowing seaweed, wrapped around a smooth, blue stone. It wasn't treasure like Blackfin's hoard, just a beautiful, strange little thing. But Saul felt a thrill. He had discovered something hidden, just like a real pirate. That day, Saul returned home with Bubbles swimming alongside the minnow, the blue stone tucked carefully into his satchel. It wasn't gold or jewels, but it was a prize of his own making, earned through curiosity, patience, and a little courage. As the sun sank behind the cliffs, painting the lagoon gold and pink, Saul smiled. He didn't know it yet, but small adventures like this would teach him more about the sea, and about himself, than any treasure chest ever could.